Start clapping for the very funny Arko Mazumder, everybody!
Hey, how are you guys? No verbal response to that, but that's cool. That's cool. We are already off to a great start. Are we having fun in DC yet? Y'all having fun? Yeah! Nice. It's nice having fun at the end times. It's nice. It's a great time to be here. Look, no matter how you feel about DC, it does not compare to my very first DC experience ever. Like when I first moved here, I moved here 2 years ago. When I first moved here, I found myself with like a very stereotypical, very classic DC roommate. Walk with me on this. He went to the George Washington University. I'm legally required to say the. He went to DGW University, works on Congress, speaks 4 languages, kind of a roommate. Look, all I'm saying is no one told me how hard it'd be to live with the guy who has blonde hair, who also speaks better Hindi than me. Who do you think my parents like more? They're like, yeah, we've heard enough about you. Put Zach on the phone. I don't like that at all. The thing is, like, I think he was a great roommate, but his idea of fun was just out of my world and out of my tax bracket. And I had to come to terms with that. Like one time we were at a restaurant and I'm trying to get to know him better. So I was like, hey man, what's one thing that you're doing this year for fun? What's one fun thing that you got planned? And he said, I'm glad you asked, Arko. I'm gonna be living on a boat for a couple of months. Not a cruise ship. I'm gonna be traveling via boat from the coast of Spain to like a remote island in the Atlantic Ocean. Didn't know I was living with a fucking conquistador, but okay. Jesus Christ. I'm in therapy, obviously. It's important for me, guys, to tell you that. That's important to know. Before I go any further, is anyone else in therapy here, quickly? Okay, only the women. That's weird. Jesus, some of y'all are in couples. That's not good. No, I'm only saying that because I just hit my 4-year therapy anniversary. That's true. Yeah, thank you. Love my therapist to death, but her wording is very strange to me sometimes. Like one time in my session, she said, Arko, you should know that the truth is always depressing. But I'm like, the question was, am I annoying? Did not like that at all right? Look, I love my therapist to death. Obviously, something's working, but I think my therapist is like a very sassy and a very snarky lady. And I have to come to terms with that. Like, I joined therapy for my anxiety, and that doesn't really translate well sometimes. Like, one time, I was in my therapy session with like a very, very anxiety-riddled question. I was like, I want you to be honest with me. How serious do you think my problems are? Then she said, while some of your problems are definitely serious, most of them you should have gotten over by now. I know I'm on BetterHelp, but that is by far the nicest, most professional way that someone's ever called me bitch made. That's what it is. At least in a professional setting. I was like, can you at least tell me which of my problems are which? And she's like, I'll tell you, but that will cost you 4 more sessions. Did not like that at all either. My therapist knows that I do this. So sometimes she gives me unsolicited comedy advice. And I have to live with that. Like one time I was in my session, I was talking about my family history. And she interrupted my session, she said, that's very nice, Arko, but by the way, I saw your comedy set, and you're potentially funny. But one thing I've noticed is that you enunciate very poorly. Like I don't know if you noticed, but people are drawn to the way other people speak. So maybe if you enunciated more, you could be seen as more funny and more attractive. Yeah, have you ever been in a session where your therapist is out here giving you the insecurity? Because that's crazy. She's like, Arko, I don't want to alarm you, but the way that you talk normally, yeah, that actively repels people. Then she left. She's like, my time is up. I'm like, you can't leave me like this. I'm on Zoloft now. That helps more, but trying to be better though. I really am. I got a new job 2 weeks ago, and that's great. I really enjoyed that for my mental health. Thank you. Best thing about getting a job is that you no longer have to do job interviews. I hate job interviews so much. Like I had one interview with the company, and instead of a human being, they gave me an AI. An AI interviewed and judged me for 60 minutes. And I made the mistake of telling jokes while this was going on. At one point, the AI was like, what do you like to do for fun? But then I said, I like to eat shit. But it was like, how often do you eat shit? And why do you think eating shit makes you a good candidate at Walgreens? And look, but the AI was so, I'm doing the Lord's work if you think about it. I'm like confusing this AI. At some point it got so confused that I had to phone in a human being. So I'm creating jobs, you're welcome. This is a people speech for the next few minutes. Little fun thing about me, I love looking at reviews of things. And I'm not talking about like movie or TV reviews. I love embassy reviews. Every embassy, especially in DC, has a Google page. And the 1-star, aka the bad reviews, have some of the most creative insults I've ever seen. You have to understand, all these people are immigrants, and they're all speaking in broken English, so you know it comes from the heart. I read this very amazing 1-star review from a very passionate Bosnian man. He wrote something under the Bosnian embassy, and he said this. His words, not mine. He said, "You are better off jacking off a lion with a handful of nails than getting anything done at this place." This guy's a hero. He said that, kissed his wife, and went to sleep. That's insane. Like, I know I was talking about AI a few minutes ago, but I promise you right now, AI will never replicate the hate of an Eastern European man. I promise you that. This is the level of man I wish I could be. The reason why I'm saying all this is because I had my own terrible embassy experience a couple of weeks ago. I had to go to the Indian embassy. And the Indian embassy, in case you didn't know, is at DuPont Circle. I had to go there for my parents. I go to the embassies like, I'm sorry, we can't handle this request. You have to go 2 miles north to our other office. I go to the other office. Other office says, yeah, we can't handle this request here. You have to go to our third-party office downtown. Now I'm really pissed off because somehow these fuckers at the Indian embassy somehow found a way to outsource their job to other Indian people. That's 3 call centers. It's a Russian nesting doll of customer service I was dealing with. Also, at one point, the second embassy said, I'm sorry, but we can't handle your request at the moment, which implies that he could help me later. But I went to the third office. I got the third office. They handed me a bunch of forms, and I finally got what I needed. But the experience was so long, it took me like 5 days to finally get my request handled. So best believe I had a 1-star review. And in my 1-star review, you can look this up, I said, "You are better off jacking off a lion with a handful of nails than getting anything done at this place. The mere presence of these people was worse than British rule." And I mean every word of it. I'm trying to be better, though. I am trying to be I don't want to come off as all hate. I am trying to be better personally. I did get a haircut a week ago, and that was great. It's fine. It's fine. My barber sucks. It's fine. We'll talk about it. My barber has like some of the worst political opinions I've ever known to mankind. That's just how it is. Like 5 haircuts ago, He said, Arko, I think the earth is flat. But he said this after he's already cutting my hair. So do you understand how scared I was when he's talking about all of his ideas? And he's like, Arko, do you still want your shape up? Because I'm like, what shapes do you even believe in? I'm a very progressive person. I live in DC, obviously. I'm a very progressive person. But like, my progressiveness turns off when that razor turns on. That's the social contract. That's just how it is. I become a bitch so quickly. Like that whole flat earth thing was 5 haircuts ago. Flash forward to 2 haircuts ago. He said, Arko, I know you're Indian. I'm already scared. He said, I know you're Indian, but me personally, I just wanted to let you know that I could never visit India. Because it's just so dirty. And look, I was going to say something. I was going to defend my culture, obviously. The thing is, I was already sat in that chair, and when he turned that razor on, I'm like, yeah, I see both sides to this. Also, my barber's from Trinidad, so fuck him. It's pretty same if you ask me. Things are better, though, like I said. I will say something that's better for myself. I now live by myself, which is great for my mental health. I really appreciate that. But the reason why I live by myself now is because my last roommate used to refer to himself as an alpha male. But for an alpha male, he would work on his mattress, no bed frame by the way, he'd work on his mattress, all right, laying down, feet kicked up, with an arched back. I know a bad bitch when I see one. Like, you guys are laughing, but you should have seen this diva. Craziest thing of all time, because his poster said Kobe, but his arches said Megan Thee Stallion. Like, that's crazy. You're probably wondering how I know all this. It's because we shared a room. So you can imagine the terror I had when I had to log off a Zoom meeting and he's doing tummy time. All right, my name's Arko. Thanks so much.